Hold up. Did you hear that sound? That was the entire NFL landscape cracking in half. Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed what might be the most earth-shattering trade in recent NFL history. And it's sending shockwaves through every defensive coordinator's office from Green Bay to Baltimore. I'm talking about Micah Parsons. Yes, the Micah Parsons. Getting traded to the Green Bay Packers in a move so explosive. It's literally rewriting the defensive power rankings as we speak. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this single trade just turned the entire NFC North into an absolute war zone. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about one trade. We're about to break down how this seismic shift has completely reshuffled the top 5 NFL defenses. And some of these rankings are going to absolutely blow your mind. The trade that changed everything. You're sitting in your favorite chair, maybe grabbing a coffee, scrolling through your phone on what you thought was just another ordinary Tuesday morning. Then, bam! Breaking news hits like a freight train. Micah Parsons traded to Green Bay Packers. Your coffee goes flying. Your jaw hits the floor. And suddenly, every fantasy football group chat you've ever been in starts absolutely exploding with notifications. This isn't just any trade, folks. This is the kind of move that makes grown men cry, fantasy owners panic, and defensive coordinators around the league start updating their resumes. We're talking about a player who has never had a season with fewer than 12 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, and 41 pressures. Never. Let me paint you a picture of what Green Bay just acquired. In all 4 of his NFL seasons, Parsons has been a Pro Bowler. Not 3 out of 4, not most years, every single year. This man has been more consistent than your morning alarm clock. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. Green Bay's pass rush was already sitting pretty at 8th in the league for sacks, but they were struggling at 16th in pressure rate. That's like having a Ferrari that can only drive in second gear. Well, guess what? They just installed a turbo engine. Now, here's where the story gets juicy. The moment this trade was announced, every other defensive coordinator in the league started playing chess at warp speed. Why? Because when you have Parsons rushing one side and Rashawn Gary, fresh off a Pro Bowl season, rushing the other, you've essentially created a nightmare scenario for offensive lines. Imagine being an offensive coordinator trying to game plan against this. Do you double-team Parsons and let Gary feast? Do you try to help your tackles with tight ends and running backs, leaving fewer weapons in your passing game? It's like being asked to choose between getting punched by Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali. Either way, you're going down. Now that the dust has settled and the trade papers are signed, let me walk you through how this earth-shattering move has completely reshuffled the defensive power rankings. And buckle up, because some of these placements are going to make you question everything you thought you knew about NFL defenses. The honorable mentions that'll make you think twice before we dive into our top 5, let's talk about some teams that are this close to breaking into the elite tier. And honestly, any of these could make a serious push this season. Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How are the defending champs just an honorable mention? Here's the thing. Steve Spagnuolo is a defensive wizard, and they've been top 4 in scoring defense. But they made some questionable moves, like signing Christian Fulton, who gave up 5 touchdowns last season. 5. That's like hiring a security guard who keeps leaving the front door wide open. Los Angeles Chargers. These guys allowed the fewest points last season. Let me repeat that. The fewest. But here's their Achilles heel. They got absolutely bulldozed on the ground, giving up 4.7 yards per carry. That's like having the best alarm system in the world, but leaving your windows unlocked. Philadelphia Eagles. Last year's defensive juggernauts who lost some key pieces but still have a young core that'll make your head spin. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith. These names are about to become household staples for the next decade. #5. Green Bay Packers, the new kids on the block. Here's where things get spicy. The Packers just catapulted themselves into the top 5 with this trade. And honestly, they might not stop climbing. Think about this defensive lineup for a second. You've got Parsons creating chaos off the edge. Rashawn Gary is about to have his best season ever. because he's going to see more one-on-one situations than a dating app. And at linebacker, Quay Walker has recorded over 100 tackles in all 3 of his seasons. This dude is a tackle-making machine. But here's the X factor that nobody's talking about. Xavier McKinney. This man is one of the most underrated ball hawks in the entire league. He can play safety, he can play slot, he can probably play quarterback if you asked him nicely. Since 2022, he hasn't missed a single game, not one. The only question mark? Their secondary depth. They signed Nate Hobbs, but he's dealing with knee surgery. It's like buying a sports car, but still needing to fix the air conditioning. 4. Denver Broncos. The consistent crushers. The Broncos are the definition of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They finished top 7 in both points and yards allowed last season. And their pass rush is absolutely filthy. Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper both hit double-digit sacks last year. But here's the kicker. They didn't just get sacks, they got tackles for loss too. 11 each. These guys aren't just pass rushers, they're complete game wreckers. And can we talk about Patrick Surtain II for a hot minute? This man is a 2-time All-Pro cornerback who's only 24 years old. He's like the defense equivalent of finding a $20 bill in your old jeans pocket, except it keeps happening every week. The wild card here is health. If Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw can stay on the field, and that's a big if, this defense could easily crack the top 3. Number 3, Pittsburgh Steelers, the star-studded squadron. The Steelers went full Hollywood this offseason, and I am here for it. They traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick, but came back swinging with Juan Thornhill, Darius Slay, and Jalen Ramsey. That's like trading in your reliable Honda and coming back with a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a Porsche. Here's what's absolutely wild about this secondary. Slay and Ramsey are both in their 30s, and they're still performing like they're in their prime. Last season, both allowed passer ratings below 84 in coverage. For context, anything under 85 is considered elite coverage. And we haven't even talked about TJ Watt yet. This man is basically a cheat code for pass rushing. Pair him with 36-year-old Cameron Hayward, who's still one of the best interior pass rushers in the game. And you've got a front 7 that makes quarterbacks see their lives flash before their eyes. Number 2, Houston Texans, the takeaway kings. If you want to talk about a defense that creates chaos, look no further than Houston. These guys tied for 4th in sacks with 49 last season. But here's where it gets insane. They finished 2nd in takeaways with 19. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are like Batman and Robin, except they both have superpowers and they're both really good at tackling people. Both hit double-digit sacks last season, and they're just getting started. But the secondary is where Houston gets absolutely stupid talented. Derek Stingley Jr. and Kalen Bullock both had 5 interceptions last season, each. And then they went and added CJ Gardner-Johnson, who had 6 picks in his previous season. This secondary doesn't just defend passes, they steal them. The only thing keeping them from the top spot, their linebacker core is solid but not spectacular. It's like having a mansion with really nice guest bedrooms but an okay living room. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens, the complete package. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the mountaintop and the view is spectacular. The Baltimore Ravens have put together what might be the most complete defense in the entire NFL. And here's why they're sitting pretty at number 1. This defense has 3 All-Pros and a double-digit pass-rushing duo. That's not just good, that's other teams need to start praying good. Let's start with the secondary, because it's absolutely loaded. They signed Jair Alexander, who when healthy is a Pro Bowl cornerback. But even without him, they've got Marlon Humphrey, who can cover anybody anywhere on the field. He's like a Swiss Army knife, except instead of opening bottles, he opens up holes in offensive game plans. Nate Wiggins, their rookie last year, had 13 pass breakups and allowed just a 66.7 passer rating in coverage. It's video game numbers. And Kyle Hamilton, don't even get me started. This man is what happens when you create the perfect safety in a laboratory. Up front, Roquan Smith is the heart and soul of this defense. The Ravens gave up the fewest rushing yards last season. And it's largely because Smith treats running backs like they personally insulted his family. And Kyle Van Noy? This man has been aging like fine wine. Since joining Baltimore's practice squad in 2023, he's recorded 21.5 sacks. 21 and a half. That's more sacks than some entire defenses. The resolution, what this all means. So what does all this mean for the upcoming NFL season? Buckle up, because we're about to see some fireworks. First off, the NFC North just became the most terrifying division in football. The Packers were already a playoff team, with Aaron Rodgers' successor looking promising. And now they've added one of the most dominant defensive players in the entire league. Lions fans are probably having nightmares already. But here's the beautiful thing about football. On any given Sunday, anything can happen. The Ravens might have the best defense on paper, but the Texans have those game-changing playmakers who can flip a game with one interception return. The Steelers have the veteran savvy to win in big moments. The Broncos have that suffocating consistency that wears teams down. This Parsons trade is just the beginning, folks. Mark my words, we're going to see other teams making desperate moves to keep up. When you shake up the balance of power this dramatically, every general manager in the league starts feeling the heat to make their own splash. Some team is going to panic and make a trade they'll regret. Some sleeper team is going to make a perfect under-the-radar signing that puts them over the top. And some team we're not even talking about right now is going to surprise everyone and crash this party. As we head into the season, keep your eyes on these key storylines. Can the Packers secondary hold up without getting overwhelmed by their new expectations? Will the Ravens live up to their #1 billing, or will the pressure get to them? Can the Texans' ball-hawking secondary create enough turnovers to overcome any front seven weaknesses? And here's the billion-dollar question. Which team is going to make the next big move that changes everything all over again? Here's the thing, football fanatics, this is just the beginning of what's going to be the most insane NFL season we've seen in years. The Parsons trade was just the opening act. And trust me when I tell you, the main event is still coming. If you want to stay ahead of every earth-shattering trade, every surprise signing, and every game-changing move that's about to rock the NFL world, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Because next week, I'm breaking down the 3 trades that could still happen before week 1 that would make this Parsons deal look like small potatoes. And don't even get me started on the quarterback situation that's about to explode in one particular city. Let's just say a certain former MVP might be packing his bag sooner than anyone thinks. Hit that notification bell, smash that like button if this video got your heart pumping, and drop a comment letting me know. Which of these defenses do you think is going to surprise everyone this season? The NFL offseason just got turned upside down, and we're here for every single minute of it. See you in the next one.